to welcome you to, this is my second webinar as Natural Sense Essential Oils, and so I'm really excited to be talking to you about essential oils tonight, and particularly about how we can help you better understand how you can live an even more non-toxic lifestyle, and how essential oils can form a really important part of that. So tonight we're doing an Essential Oils 101 session, let's call it, particularly how easily it is to replace what is in your medicine cabinet with a more natural alternative. This is something that my family and I have recently gone through over the last 3 months, and I tell you, we've had some really profound experiences. So for those of you who don't know me, and most of you probably do, but my name's Kelly Windle, and I work with some lovely ladies, including Jo and Susan, who might have invited you along tonight. So I know they're also joining the session. So hello to those guys, and I'm really excited to have you on board. So tonight, by the end of tonight, my goal is that you will know what an essential oil is, how to use them, and how to choose them, just as importantly, because there's lots of oils out in the marketplace, and there is a huge difference between an essential oil and a therapeutic grade essential oil, and importantly, how to get the maximum benefit out of them. So there are lots of different ways you can use your oils as well, and so we're going to talk through some of those different ways. And because there is such a plethora of oils in the marketplace, we're going to stick to the top 10 essential oils that we certainly believe as a team that you should have in your medicine cabinet, because these are the ones that you will use on a day-to-day basis. But before we get started, I just wanted to make sure that you've got a piece of paper and a pen handy. And in fact, I've got a question to ask you. What are your 3 health concerns for either yourself or your family? And if you just take 30 seconds to maybe quickly jot down what are the things that come to mind when you think of yourself and your family, and keep that close by to you, because as we go through the different oils tonight, you'll think of these different ailments and you'll consider, how do I put this into place with my family? And you may have some specific questions on that, because like I said, essential oils are simple to understand and are so natural, but they can be used in so many different ways. It's great to write notes as we go along. So keep track of your health goals, write them down, take 30 seconds now to do that, and I'll give you a quick moment. And while you finish writing those down, I just wanted to intro a little bit more about myself. So basically, I became, and really why I'm talking to you about essential oils tonight, but basically I'm a mum of a 6 and a 4-year-old. I've worked in very corporate roles in my past. And as you probably come to having families, or just to be honest, growing up, you start to become a lot more aware of what's going on outside of your sphere of just getting to work every day. And certainly in my story is that I've been on a bit of a health journey. I've got an underactive thyroid, or Hashimoto's disease. I've taken some really big strides to improve what I put into my body on a day-to-day basis, and certainly putting into my body of my children on a day-to-day basis. And in our hectic lifestyle, how do you do that and reduce that toxic load? And when I first heard about essential oils from my friend Jo, it resonated with me straight away. But certainly what I went to find out about essential oils was more around mood management for me and my 6-year-old, because I've got a 6-year-old daughter, and that can be challenging at times. And what started as an interest in how we could help balance that out actually became a little bit of a love affair with these essential oils. And now I've had quite a few profound experiences with them. And just to name one of them, and I've had 2 occasions where I've had vomiting children happen within 6, 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. And within an hour of administering essential oils, I've had them completely recover. So it's almost been like a 4 to 6 hour vomiting bug. That was just one profound experience with my children. And then I've had some profound experiences when I was travelling to Melbourne actually recently, where normally I have quite a lot of, say, stomach issues, and using essential oils to calm that right down, I didn't have any issues with my stomach over that period. And I think sometimes I keep going, is this really working? And continuously I keep hearing stories from my family and friends who also started essential oils at some really profound experiences they've had. So whether it's peppermint for fevers, or reducing fevers, or lavender to help calm their children down, there's been some pretty profound experiences. So that's why I'm so passionate about talking about essential oils, and that's why I'm excited to introduce you to essential oils tonight. So let's get started. Like I said, hopefully we'll take 40 minutes tonight. You've got the chat function there, and we'll talk through these top essential oils. The oils that we'll be talking about tonight is oils that we've chosen called doTERRA. And there's lots of reasons we've chosen that, but I just wanted to really put out front here, because I'm clear, I'm not a doctor and nor am I a naturopath, but what I am is someone who is very open to learning about new things and very conscious about what I do with my body. And I wanted to say, we don't necessarily claim to prevent, treat or cure, but what we do like to believe with these oils is that they completely support your immune system, as well as good health, as well as good food. This is another little tool that you can put in your toolkit to help support your body and to support the body of your families. But I'm not saying an essential oil is the silver bullet to everything, but sometimes we found that it's been pretty helpful in dealing with a lot of our issues so far. So what my job is tonight is, it's not about telling you what the silver bullet is, but it's part of a total lifestyle, wellness lifestyle. So certainly in my perspective is that everything that we do on a day-to-day basis helps us become the best people and the most vital people that we can possibly be. So if I can empower you to use essential oils by the end of this evening, this is another thing where you can reduce the toxic load and help your body out naturally on a day-to-day basis. And that's really exciting. Of course, using essential oils is only one part of how you can create a really well and vital life, but it's certainly an important part when you think of natural medicine. So this evening we're going to cover off what is an essential oil, how do we use them, and what is the best way to obtain them. Now, if you excuse me, I'm just going to read the definition of essential oil, because I have an amazing book called Modern Essentials, which actually does a much better job of defining an essential oil, and then I can tell you a little bit more about it. But essential oils functionally embody regenerating, protective and immune strengthening properties of plants. So an essential oil can come from a plant, tree, bark, leaves, obviously orange, rinds, protective coatings of fruit, etc. They are extracted in a way which is called steam distillation for most oils, or it's cold pressed for most citrus oils. The best way to think of an essential oil, as certainly Jo and Susan and I like to talk about, is that when you think of an orange that is out sitting on the tree, it has a lot of compounds and constituents that helps protect that orange. It doesn't have clothing and shelter like we do as people in our house. All it has is its aromatic qualities, its ability to attract bees and things that can help pollinate it, and its ability to reject disease, etc. When we take that orange and we cold press that, we get the complete benefit of all those constituents combined, and there are hundreds and hundreds of constituents in one essential oil. In fact, they are 50 to 70 times more powerful than even herbs. And just to give you an example of how strong an essential oil can be, one drop of peppermint oil, which is like one of my favourite oils that you must have in your medicine cabinet, is the equivalent to 28 cups of peppermint tea. It is truly, what compounds can be caught into that one essential oil is truly amazing. And I drink a lot of tea, but I certainly couldn't drink 28 cups of peppermint tea. So when you, just to flip back to this slide, on your left-hand side is a peppermint leaf, and on your right-hand side is actually the essential oil little beadlets that you can find on a peppermint leaf. Now, we can't see them to the naked eye, but they're there, and that's how we extract them by steam distillation. The reason we can extract an oil by steam distillation is because an essential oil is hydrophobic. So we can put steam underneath it, we can take that process out, and because the oil separates from the water, we're easily able to extract that oil. But can you imagine, to make bottles of essential oil takes a lot of plant matter. So not only is it very strong, but we want to use our essential oils in a way that is also respectful of our environment as well. So we don't need a lot of it when we use it. And we can talk more about that during the process. The other benefit to the key benefit to essential oils, it has those hundreds of different compounds, and importantly, they can have medical benefit to all of us. Now, just something to consider, because we probably, if you've had to treat yourself recently for a virus or a bacterial infection, or even for a headache, for example, pharmaceutical companies, rightly so, have mimicked the natural compounds that exist already in the marketplace. So they'll take one component of, say, peppermint leaf that helps with headaches, they'll synthesize that process. And I don't know about you, but growing up, we weren't really kind of exposed to the natural, I wasn't exposed to the natural alternatives. But when I actually think about it, if a pharmaceutical company can mimic these constituents, why shouldn't we be going back to where they came from in the first place to help us? And importantly, an essential oil actually doesn't become resistant to antibiotics, etc., which is one of the growing problems we have with our process, with our resistance that we're building up to antibiotics in our modern day lifestyle. The slide that you've got in front of you now this is actually my favourite part about essential oils, to be honest, and I've learned some big words to go with it because it really explains what happens. So a lot of the time when we're sick and not well, a lot of the cause of that is normally a virus. And I don't know about you, but I've had lots of experiences where I've gone to the doctors and taken the children, and they've said, yep, you're right, it's a virus. There's not really much we can do about it. Go home, let their body help fight that. And that's fabulous. And I've got some kids that have got some really good, strong constitutions, but they're still down and out for the count for 2 days. The great thing about an essential oil is that they're lipid soluble. This means apparently around the cell, there is an oil-like membrane that goes around the cell. An essential oil can actually permeate a cell. So unlike antibiotics, which just sits and can deal with, say, bacteria, which sits outside of a cell, they can't permeate a cell. So an essential oil can get in there and help our immune system and support that. What a fabulous thing that we can be empowered to help immediately our children or ourselves by using an essential oil to help our bodies and to make them as strong as they can be. The thing is with an essential oil though, you may have come across an essential oil, or you may be using or have used, say, like tea tree as part of your cleaning before. Essential oils are not all made of the same thing, or when I should say essential oils, all oils aren't necessarily the same. When we look at the chart in front of us now and we think of oils, there are lots of different ones out there. So in that blue circle, we talk about synthetic oils, and that's everything from your perfume and industrial. So when you're pumping out, you know, some palm olive or something like that that's been that has a lavender flavour, that is a synthesized type of oil. Yes, it's been based on nature, but there also might only be 1 or 2% of that in that actual product to make it smell really nice. And I come from a food marketing background, so I know how we do this when it comes to creating products. When you think, then there's also coconut oil and olive oil as a food grade oil, which we can ingest. And then we talk about therapeutic oils. And when I speak specifically about therapeutic, that is those oils that can actually provide medical benefit to us. doTERRA in particular have gone even one step further and consider themselves certified pure therapeutic grade. That means that they are verified pure and potent, so you're getting 100% oil. And just when you're going out shopping next, even in your health food store or at Woolies, for example, and you pick up a tea tree oil, have a look at it. Have a look at the ingredients. You might only have 20% active ingredients in that whole oil. Meanwhile, it's been diluted with an ethanol base. With certified pure therapeutic grade doTERRA oils, you're getting 100% pure oil, and more importantly, it's going to do you good. And you only need 1 or 2 drops to do you good. They have a 3-step tier processing part. So they test at the farm, they test when they get the big batches in, and they test at the bottle level. So all through the process, you know that you're getting 100% product that isn't got nasties in it, which is really important these days. And in fact, doTERRA are known to completely wipe out putting in oil. They've gone without oils in their product range when they've found that there's been any issue with the oils. And to me, that gives me a really good peace of mind, especially when I'm using these oils with my children and with myself. And it actually makes me really aware that when I'm shopping and looking at scented products, what am I really looking at here? Is it as potent as it can be? So CPTG is a rating that doTERRA sets themselves above the rest, and it's definitely beyond organic. Just a couple of other things when I talk about our oils tonight that I think is really important to mention is that we also source our oils from the places where oils thrive the best. So, for example, tea tree, or Melaleuca as we also know it as, is sourced from Australia. Lavender is sourced from Italy. Frankincense is sourced from Somalia. And why is that important? It's important because the people who have farmed these essential oils for years and years, they know when to get the best out of the oils. And this matters because you want the complete benefit of all the constituents of a plant that's had the most love, care and attention. You certainly don't want to be like harvesting my peppermint out in my poor veggie garden that hasn't had the most love and attention like our farmers that we source these products from. And just a nice little side note, the reason why I certainly know Joe and Susan and I love these oils as well as the company is because out of the 18 countries or 36 countries that we work with, 18 countries of those are third world countries, and doTERRA actually have an association or foundation that actually goes into those countries and helps support their educational needs, helps the farmers, helps their economy thrive. And not only do I love essential oils because they help me thrive, but I love that the company is bigger than itself. So I've talked about, what an essential oil can do for your body. I've talked about how you should choose your essential oil, and it needs to be 100% pure. And make sure, walking away from this session, whether you buy doTERRA or not, you have a look at what's happening out in your marketplace, and what you pick off of the shelves is really important. And thirdly, what I love about essential oils is that they're affordable. And you know, as we all know, essential oils, as we all know, medical treatment can be really costly for us. And an essential oil, say a 15 ml bottle, can have approximately 300 drops. Now, you only need 1 to 2 drops per bottle, so that's almost 150 to 300 uses in one bottle. And in fact, a friend costed out, her son recently had a really painful ear infection, and over a 24-hour period, she treated her son with tea tree oil on his ear, or just behind his ear. And the cost of that was, I think, basically below $5. Now, if she had gone to the doctor plus got any medication, you could imagine that's $50 plus. And this day and age, isn't it great that we can be empowered to also help our children, but also not for it to cost us a lot of money? So let's talk about how we can use essential oils, because there are 3 key ways that we can use essential oils. We can use them aromatically, and by the way, all 3 of them are just as powerful. So we can use oils aromatically. So you can take the container and, you know, let me grab, what have I got here? Some Breathe here. You can sniff straight out of the bottle. You can put it into a diffuser, and a diffuser can cover 300 square meters, and you can still have the same benefit of it. And make sure you use a diffuser, not a humidifier. There is a huge difference, because essential oils are a volatile compound. They don't need to be heated. They actually only need to be dispersed. And when they're dispersed into the air, we take the benefits by ingesting that into our body. So don't use these in a humidifier, it ruins it. And also, when it comes to humidifiers, they're probably not the best anyway inside your bedrooms because of mold, etc., that it can create. So diffusing is one way to really energize your body. And certainly I've got friends who will diffuse overnight, especially when their children are sick. And that's a great way to keep the essential oil pumping through and getting to great effect. You can also use your essential oil topically. So that's everything from, and should I do some of my routine for the night? So, you know, I might take a bit of frankincense and you can put that into a localized area. I might do my wrinkles tonight. And frankincense can be applied topically. There's lots of oils. Most of the oils can be applied topically. So a couple of key interesting facts. An essential oil takes 30 seconds, only 30 seconds to enter your bloodstream. And in fact, it only takes 20 minutes for an essential oil to permeate your whole body. So you will normally see, if you don't see profound, you know, see benefit, it's normally within that 20, you know, by the 20-minute mark, you're getting the benefit throughout your whole body. So you can apply to your head, feet, back, neck, wrists, etc. Lavender's a great one for your wrists. I know I use it on my daughter. And you can also take essential oils internally, and you can do that on a number of ways. You can take a gel capsule, you can take it under your tongue. So I take a product digested under my tongue, and I love to have lemon and grapefruit in the morning in my water. So that's another way that you can also take essential oils, and it's great for clearing out your system. That's why I take the lemon and grapefruit. But there's a couple of things that we need to note with essential oils. Like anything, we need to educate ourselves on how to use oil safely. As I mentioned earlier, essential oils are truly, truly potent. So drinking half a bottle is not the way to go. You only need 1 or 2 drops. And there are specific oils that are more intense than others, and there's specific oils that you wouldn't necessarily ingest or take internally. Keep out of, and I've got, as we go through the oils, I've got a specific key that helps you identify the differences with that. You want to keep out of ears and eyes and nose in particular. So, you know, even sometimes sniffing, say a peppermint, which is quite an intense product, can, you know, if you touch your nose, you can definitely feel it there. But oregano is my warning one. Oregano is really, really intense, but it's such a powerful oil, but just be really careful. So when it comes to skin sensitivity, you can do something about that. You can dilute your oil with coconut oil, so a natural food-based oil, with a coconut oil or olive oil. As I said to you before, essential oils are lipid soluble, so if you add it to a natural oil, it will disperse and it will even out, so you can reduce the intensity of the product. And it's the rule of thumb. So if you've got a baby and he's only coming up to a third of your thumb, then you need to add coconut oil or some olive oil to reduce the intensity of that product. There are some products like lavender and tea tree which aren't as strong, but certainly when you're using essential oils to start off with, consider that you should dilute it and test it on your children, or test it on yourself first. Or if in doubt, put onto the bottom of your arch of your foot, because that is the toughest part of your skin. So use it there first, and like I said, it has the same kind of impact. Remember, 30 seconds to get into your body, etc. Or, of course, you can diffuse it if you don't want to use it topically. So I think we're about 20 minutes in now, and I'm going to take the next 15 minutes to talk specifically about the 10 essential oils that we believe can be used in your household to replace your modern medicine cabinet. And let me tell you, I am learning more and more ways to use essential oils every day, and I continue to have profound benefits from it and continue to hear stories. I was at a workshop last night and heard more ways that people are using essential oils in their day-to-day life. So let's talk about peppermint. Peppermint can be diffused, it can be used topically and ingested. It is a bit more of a sensitive product, so it can be an intense product. So sometimes use it with coconut oil if you say you want to rub it on the chest, etc. But great results when it comes to reducing fever. If you've got a bit of a tummy upset, try some rubbing on your stomach. It's fabulous, or even just underneath your tongue. And I use it back on the temples of my head to reduce headaches. And if we were in a live workshop tonight, I would actually be giving you some peppermint raw chocolate. And in fact, peppermint choc balls have become an absolute fave in our household at the moment. And bonus, it stops hiccups. And I actually cannot believe it, but I don't think we've had this opportunity to test it yet, but my son had hiccups this morning. Now, he wouldn't drink peppermint in a glass of water. He's only 4. So what I did was I actually got him to sniff out of the bottle. So taking it topically, taking it aromatically, and I also started diffusing it. And within a couple of minutes, I said to my husband, his hiccup stopped. Wow. So it's another little great way to use peppermint. Lavender. So lavender has become a bit of an emotional crutch at the moment for us in our household, and it's really helping balance my 6-year-old and my relationship out when it comes to, especially it's the end of the year, end of term. I use it in the office to diffuse, just to kind of calm everything down. So lavender, when you think of lavender, think of it as a calming property. So it can calm emotions. It can calm burns and cuts and help heal them. I use that on my daughter's mosquito bites, and I also use lavender on a huge, big horsefly bite that I got the other day, and within a day that had completely reduced down, and I swell up quite dramatically. So it's quite a powerful antihistamine as well. So, you might want to put some lavender underneath your nose if you suffer from any issues when it comes to allergies, or use it all across here, or diffuse it at night. On top of which, it helps everyone sleep really well. So maybe add a drop to, you could put a drop onto the pillow of your children. We had a kind of a funny little, I shouldn't say funny, but interesting incident where a friend, a customer of mine had actually used lavender on her son's pillow who's 4. And it did a great job. He didn't wake up that night to yell out to mummy, but he did wet the bed for the first time. So it worked. It definitely worked in the fact that he had this amazing sleep, but maybe he's a little bit too young, given that obviously knocked him out for the night and didn't go to the toilet. But I do think it illustrated that it can just really take you to a place of relaxation. And lavender is an amazing calming blend, and if you need to reduce stress, you can reach for it. Lemon is another one that can be taken neat. It's once again aromatic, topical, and ingested. I drink with daily water. I use it with a bit of hot water. It cleanses your body and your home as well. I don't know if you knew this, but when you take lemon, because I actually was drinking squeezed lemon every day before I started taking on the essential oils, and that can actually delaminate your teeth, taking, the normal lemon, and an essential oil doesn't do that. It also helps release petrochemicals and eliminate things out of your body, and I certainly need that help on a day-to-day basis, and just find that a great remedy. Also, lemon, a bit of a cold and flu thing, lemon with a bit of your organic honey on a spoon, just a drop onto your stomach, can really help your throat. It's just another way to use lemon, but there are literally tens and tens, probably hundreds of ways you can use lemon. Anything in essential oil where it comes from a citrus-based product is also really uplifting. So I use peppermint and lemon in the morning to really give me some energy, especially if I've had a late night. Which I suppose doesn't happen that often, not. But the next oil I want to speak about is tea tree oil, or the botanical name is Melaleuca. We sometimes have differences in names, but tea tree is obviously the Australian way we talk about it. You can use Melaleuca in so many different ways, and to be fair, the one that I've heard with a great amount of success are the ear infections. So you could take a cotton ball, add 1 or 2 drops, put it close towards your child's ear. If they're a little bit younger, you might not want to put it in, but you might want to put it over the ear. Or you could use tea tree on the back of the ear, and we've had success on both of those ways. I personally also use it on my children's mosquito bites. I literally got bitten by a mosquito on my arm the other day and smacked it in front of me. And I put tea tree, I was at a workshop, I put tea tree straight onto it, and I didn't even itch. So tea tree is antibacterial. If you've got health scalp issues, if you've got acne, my girlfriend who has had hormonal acne issues and who is just so gorgeous but has these issues down here, she's been using tea tree for the last 2 weeks and was just like, I can't believe that just applying this tea tree has just cleared up my issues. So frankincense, we probably have all heard of frankincense before. It obviously goes back hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And I've heard people refer to frankincense as God in a bottle, which is a big claim, but it's a pretty amazing oil. It comes from sap from Somalia, off the trees of Somalia. It can be used aromatically, topically, and it can be ingested. And it is a very light product, so you can put it neatly onto your body. Why frankincense? Oh my God, it's an amazing anti-inflammatory. So you probably know that disease comes from, they're finding it comes from an inflammation in your body. So our body becomes inflamed. It could be from too many toxins, just our everyday life, we're too stressed, whatever's going on, our body can become quite inflamed. And frankincense is actually one of those products that can actually go in and help your cells and reduce that inflammation. It's also known to pass through the blood-brain barrier. So quickly, our brain is surrounded by, a thin barrier, and it's been thought in the past that any old small molecule could actually permeate the blood-brain barrier, but that's actually not the case. In fact, 98% of modern medicine, where there is the small molecules, actually don't pass through the blood-brain barrier. And why is this important? Well, for brain disease type issues like Alzheimer's and other illnesses and diseases that we're suffering in that area these days, they can't be treated unless they can pass through the blood-brain barrier. So frankincense is one that you can use to help support, rejuvenate your body. It can reduce inflammation in your body. So if you noticed, I put it around my eyes earlier. So, you know, I'm so vain, but I'm using this as part of my beauty routine because it's a rejuvenator. But you can also, if you've got, you know, even sometimes when you've got a headache or you're just feeling like your body has been overworked, it's also something to be used that you can use topically or ingested or diffuse it aromatically. And if you're interested in knowing more about frankincense, there are a lot more studies about how frankincense are being used in Alzheimer's patients and even to reduce tumours. So it's a pretty amazing product and one that I'm really excited about. So just think, frankincense, anti-inflammatory. Okay, oregano. Wow. Well, oregano is an amazingly intense product, but it is antifungal, antiviral and antibacterial, and can also help with warts. It is a very intense product, so you do need to dilute it. As you can see by the key at the bottom of the product, you can dilute it, especially if you're putting it onto warts, for example, and covering that up. But we use it on the bottom of our children's feet and our own, to be honest, when we feel like something, like we're just about to get something. When my son was vomiting the other day, I put it straight onto the bottom of his feet with the digestin on his tummy. And I also diffused oregano with our protective blend, so it could help get rid of kind of any parasites or anything that's hanging around in the air as well. When you go to use oregano, maybe speak to the person that introduced you tonight to give you more safety advice around oregano. It is an amazing product, but just making sure you keep it out of your eyes and ears, etc., because it is one of those intense products. You don't want to be sculling that down, that's for sure. So ice blue or deep blue, as we know it, is a particular blend that doTERRA have put together, and it is basically your rub that you're basically replacing, and I've just forgotten the name of the rub that we used to use a lot of, but you're replacing it with a more natural alternative. So if you've got a sore pain, you just need 1 drop of ice blue, deep blue, stick it on your finger, rub it into that. And I had a workshop last night and the ladies have been complaining about her back for quite a while. Within 5 minutes of rubbing a deep blue on, she was putting up her hand, she's desperate to go, oh my God, I can't feel. That has just completely released that tension area that we had. You can even use deep blue for, say, headaches. It gets rid of that tension headache, anywhere where your muscular bone is really holding on tight. It's a pretty amazing product. I know the boys in the house love it if they're exercising lots. We've also got DigestZen, which is another blend, and I'll just show you the bottle of that one. This is like my favourite blend, especially if you're someone who suffers a little bit when it comes to digestive issues and digestive function. If you want to support your digestive function, DigestZen is a great product for that. And I don't even need to take this internally. Rubbing it on my stomach is just as effective during the process. So DigestZen has active ingredients like ginger, peppermint, coriander, tarragon and fennel. And this completely supports your digestive system. Because I basically live a paleo lifestyle, but occasionally when I'm out and about, you eat something that may not agree with you, I just tend to put 1 drop underneath my tongue, and I find that I don't suffer the consequences of that, of how I normally would. Okay, for those mums out there or people that suffer from breathing issues, Easy Air is our Vicks in a bottle without the petrochemicals. So you can diffuse breathe in the air. You can apply it to your chest or onto your back, or even underneath the bottom of your feet to help respiratory discomfort and to help you breathe easily. It's pretty self-explanatory. You can't ingest breathe, but it is aromatically and can be used topically. Aromatically, I have lots of clients using this overnight with their children in diffusers, and they're just raving about it because they don't have these humidifiers in their bedrooms now to deal with children touching hot things and having some really great results. Okay, we're down to our last two, and On Guard is another blend of doTERRAs, and this one has a bit of a special place in my heart because it's called the Protective Blend, and there's a reason it's called the Protective Blend. It holds active ingredients, wild orange, clove. Clove in particular is the important ingredient in this one. On the ORAC scale, which is a scale of antioxidants, berries hold about 2,000 antioxidants, and clove is 2 million. Now, we don't eat clove on a day-to-day basis, but as you can imagine, it's actually a really potent product. This product has started to be used in hospitals to get rid of airborne pathogens. So once again, when I get illness in my household, I diffuse this straight away to get rid of anything that's floating around, because there's no way I want to be vomiting or whatever else the children bring home with them. You can take it internally if you feel like, to support your immune. And also it's great, once again, on the bottom of feet, say before children go to bed, or even with yourself when you feel like you're coming down with something. So that's our On Guard Protective Blend, and it's just another one there that you can have to put in your back pocket, and it's something that, you know, I'd love to see in every single kindy and daycare program, because, you know, you can imagine the efficiency we would gain if children weren't coming home sick. Okay. Just frozen. Sorry about that. So this is our very last one, called our Slim and Sassy, or our Smart and Sassy, as we like to call it. And this is one of actually our leading products in the business, and there's a reason for that, is because it holds ingredients in it that can help your metabolism speed up, and I think, you know, we can all benefit from that at times. And certainly ingredients like grapefruit, which is something that I use on its own, can be a really powerful appetite suppressant when you're trying to get your body back into a normal rhythm, especially coming into this Christmas time. It helps cleanse your body of any petrochemicals, and it has an intense ability to elevate your mood and give you energy. So you can take this internally, you can diffuse it, or you can smell it aromatically, obviously, and you can also take it topically. It's definitely, I had some feedback the other day, they say take 3 to 5 drops. You may only want to take 1 or 2 drops while you're getting used to it, because ginger can be quite an intense product. But I personally just put some underneath my tongue, and I've done some testing on this one, and I'm finding that it really does make the difference in my day when I take it in the morning as part of my daily routine, which is fabulous. So I've just really quickly gone over what I believe, certainly what the Natural Sense team believe, are the top 10 essential oils that you could take into your house and start using today. So everything from supporting your digestive issues or ailments, using antibacterial tea tree to support cuts and bites and to help ear infections and other infections that you may have in the household, and also to protect yourself and to reduce inflammation with products like frankincense and On Guard, and using those citrus-based products to really clean your body out. And that's just 10 essential oils, and certainly we're putting them to use on a day-to-day basis. And I can't forget lavender, because by far that has probably been the most profound impact, certainly when it comes to taking a deep breath and dealing with mood in our household. So there's quite a lot of information we covered off tonight, and I just wanted to point you in the track of, there are plenty of places to continue learning about essential oils. There's a great website called Aroma Tools where you can get key books like Modern Essentials, like this one. It's a little bit of a Bible on all things essential oils, including any different ailments that you might have. You can basically go to the back of that and reference, you know, a headache, or what do I do for warts, or et cetera, et cetera. You can join our Facebook Natural Sense Circle Facebook group, where we share our different interactions with the oils. And there's a great website, Aromatic Science, which also tells you how essential oils come to about. So if you're someone who likes to know the detail of things, because we just couldn't go through to every detail tonight, that's a great place to educate yourself. And of course, if you take on doTERRA and buy and purchase the product, you actually get access to the doTERRA University and all the tools that come with doTERRA as well. So it's another thing that doTERRA does to support you when you take on essential oils. And I think that's really important, because there's one thing knowing about essential oils, it's another thing trying it and pulling it in and making the most of it as valuable as it can be on a day-to-day basis. Now, you've had people that would have invited you here tonight, and I thank them, and I hope you've enjoyed the session, and they can certainly help you out when it comes to purchasing the product. And there's just a couple of things that I wanted to cover off. Hopefully you've all written down the products that have really interest you, is based on the ailments that you've identified at the beginning of this session. And that would be a great place to start when you speak to the consultants that put you onto tonight's webinar. And they can talk to you about how is the best way to purchase your essential oils with someone like with doTERRA and with ourselves. And they can talk to you everything about what the benefits of buying wholesale are, how you can buy a kit to get you started. So, you know, my recommendation is start with 10 essential oils so you can start using them on a day-to-day basis. And we do special kits in 5 ml bottles that help get you kick-started. And that's where I started. And now, obviously, I can't stop because I'm so passionate about them. And there's different ways that doTERRA will reward you for that loyalty. And of course, if you just want to buy 1 or 2 oils, you can also speak to your consultant about that and how you access the product. But it's certainly been my hope tonight that you have learnt a little bit more about essential oils in our Essential Oils 101 class, and you can see how it's easy to replace your medicine cabinet with some pretty powerful and potent products.